The Rookie of the Year is an interesting award because, after the MVP, it's probably the award everyone pays the most attention to. First-year players are always fascinating to watch, and because of how much attention the draft gets nowadays, everyone has favorites that they would like to see win the award. However, while the award is definitely a good way for players to start their career, it's not always indicative of which player is actually the best from each class. Some players peak early on, and some players develop later in their careers. In this video though, we're going to be taking a look at each of the players that actually won the award over the last decade, and ranking them in order from best to worst. Now, keep in mind that this ranking is based solely on these players' rookie seasons. This is not a ranking of how the players are currently, it's only taking into consideration their first seasons in the league. Because obviously that's when they won Rookie of the Year. Before we start though, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. Starting at the bottom at number 10 on this list, we have Malcolm Brogdon, who won the award in 2017, and this was honestly a pretty easy choice. The 2017 Rookie of the Year race was, to be frank, very underwhelming. None of the top picks in that year's draft played well out the gate, and Ben Simmons missed the season with an injury. The one rookie that year that did look like he was going to run away with the race was Joel Embiid, who after years of injuries finally made his NBA debut, and came out and showed just how dominant he could be right away, even on a minutes restriction. He only played 31 games though, so most voters didn't want to give the award to someone that didn't even play half the year, and ultimately, the race for the award came down to Brogdon and Dario Saric. I'm not saying that Brogdon wasn't a very good bench player and role player on the Bucks that year, but ultimately, because of the lack of competition, he essentially won the award by default. Up next, at number 9, is Andrew Wiggins, who won the award back in 2015. Wiggins came into the league as someone that many thought was destined for greatness, and he started his career off on a positive note by winning this award. Unfortunately, things haven't really gotten much better for him since, but that's irrelevant to the topic. He averaged about 17 points per game this year, and his athleticism was definitely tantalizing for fans that hyped him up, but the reality of the situation was that his numbers, even then, were pretty empty, and despite the flashiness, never really impacted games very much. At the time though, no one really saw the fact that he wouldn't really improve much coming, and even Kobe Bryant said that Wiggins reminded him of his younger self that year after playing against him for the very first time. The Wolves only won 16 games this season, but ultimately the Rookie of the Year often goes to the rookie with the best stats, and Wiggins' 17 points and 4.6 rebounds per game were more than any other rookie put up that year. At number 8 now, we have CarterWilliams, who won the award in 2014. The tale of MCW is one of the weirder ones in the NBA, as he actually, believe it or not, peaked in his very first game as an NBA player. The Sixers opened their season against the defending champion Miami Heat that season, and the lowly Sixers were in the middle of their tank and were severe underdogs in this game. None other than rookie CarterWilliams put the Sixers on his back this game though, and dropped 22 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, and 9 steals while shooting the ball well from both the field and from 3 in an absolutely masterful performance that helped the Sixers win the game. From there though, the Rookie of the Year was his to lose, and he finished the season averaging 16.7 points, 6.3 assists, 6.2 rebounds, and 1.9 steals per game. He wasn't very efficient that year, and those struggles have continued throughout his career, but overall his first season was a good one, which can't necessarily be said about many of his other seasons afterwards. Next up at number 7 is Kyrie Irving, who won the award back in 2012. In Kyrie's first year, he immediately showed off his bag of tricks and lit the league up by getting wherever he wanted on the court with his crafty handle. He averaged 18.5 points, 5.4 assists, and 3.7 rebounds per game, while shooting the ball highly efficient for a rookie at 47% from the field and 40% from 3, which is almost unheard of because rookie guards more often often than not struggle shooting the ball consistently. Kyrie was drafted into the post-LeBron Cavaliers, so he wasn't working with very much around him, but he still did extremely well as a number one option and knocked down several big-time shots down the stretch of games, previewing the clutch gene he would later show off on the biggest stage in the 2016 finals. Overall, he had a very solid rookie season, but the numbers he put up weren't on a very good team, and others on this list produced higher for better teams. Up next, at number 6, we have KarlAnthony Towns, who won the award back in 2016. Towns was taken number 1 overall in the 2015 draft and lived up to every bit of the hype. He averaged 18.3 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 1.7 blocks per game, both of the last two ranking in the top 10 in the league that year. His offensive skill set, both inside and out, was so much higher than the rest of the competition, and it's only gotten better each year he's played. He was so head and shoulders above the rest of the rookie competition that year that he became the 5th player ever to win Rookie of the Year by a unanimous vote, but still, because of the strength of other guys on this list, he just misses out on the top 5 for me. Next up, to start off the top 5, we have Tyreke Evans, who won the award in 2010. Some of you young fans may know Evans as a solid player in the league, but nothing more, nothing less. But when he was first starting playing in the NBA, he had people thinking he was a future star. He finished the season off as the 4th player ever to average 25-5 as a rookie, alongside the likes of Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Oscar Robertson, so needless to say, he had the league on notice. As a point guard that was 6'6", quick and strong, his versatility was almost unheard of, and the Kings really thought they found themselves a pillar to build around. Unfortunately, things didn't work out that way for the rest of his career, as he never really lived up to the hype his rookie season garnered, but no one can take away just how special of a first year he had. Up next at number 4, we have Damian Lillard, who won the award back in 2013. Lillard's rookie season was extra impressive for a number of reasons. To start, he played all 82 games and started every one of those games, which showed that not only did his coaches trust him to run the team from the jump, but he was actually durable enough to last the entire year. Rookies suffering injuries is a pretty normal thing, and it's rare that they play an entire season without sitting out at least a few games, but Lillard was able to. Also, his production was top tier, averaging 19 points and 6.5 assists per game that year. His team may not have necessarily been that good, but they did win 33 games in a tough Western Conference, and showed that they would be ready to compete sooner rather than later, much in part due to Lillard elevating the team. However, on top of all of that, the biggest reason I put Lillard as high as I did is because he actually went up against and beat out legitimately good rookies from his class, including Anthony Davis, Bradley Beal, and Andre Drummond, all of which had strong rookie seasons. So because of both his production and the fact that he had real competition to beat out, which isn't the case for most others on this list, he's firmly in the top 5 at number 4. Up next, at number 3, to start off the top tier of rookies from this decade, we have Luka Doncic, who actually won last year's award. Luka started the year doubted by many, and ended the year shutting every single doubter up. He put up monstrous numbers across the board with 21.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, which haven't been replicated since Oscar Robertson as a rookie. His step-back jumper is deadly, he can create space and get his shot off from anywhere, and is going to be a problem for years moving forward. The top 3 were so tough to rank because all 3 of these players had such fantastic rookie seasons, but ultimately, Doncic just barely got edged out by these next 2 in my opinion. Now, at number 2, we have Ben Simmons, who won the award in 2018. This campaign became infamous because of his back and forth with Donovan Mitchell and his fans, and how they constantly complained about whether or not he was a rookie. Well, whether you like the rule or not, your rookie season is the first year you play, and that was this season for Simmons. Ben was a triple-double machine right off the bat, and for the year averaged 15.8 points, 8.2 assists, and 8.1 rebounds, and 1.7 steals per game. He started putting up monster numbers across the board right away, and he showed just how versatile of a defender he could be as well. All of this played a big part in the Sixers winning 52 games that season, and even when Joel Embiid got hurt at the end of the year, the team didn't miss a beat because Simmons stepped his game up and led them to 15 straight wins to close out the season. That combination of winning games and numbers made me heavily consider him for the #1 spot, but ultimately this next guy just played too well to ignore. And finally, at #1 on this list, we have Blake Griffin, who won the award in 2011. Griffin, funny enough, like Simmons, got injured and didn't start his career until a year after he was drafted, but when he came back, he showed that he was better than ever. Young Blake Griffin was nightly must-watch TV because he was a highlight waiting to happen. The amount of dunks he threw down and posters he put people on had fans of the league going crazy at the time, and he breathed new life into the often lowly Clippers franchise. With averages of 22.5 points, 12.1 rebounds, and 3.8 assists per game, he was also filling the box score as well. His biggest competition that year was John Wall, who also played pretty good as a first-year player, but there was little doubt Griffin would win the award. Overall, this was one of the most exciting individual seasons I've ever watched from any player, and it was an easy choice for the top spot on this list, at least for me. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment with your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.